Now, I have had this model for a while, but just didn't get around to reviewing it, but now that we have it in front of us, we of course should take a closer look to see if it is actually worth our time, and we'll get to that right after the drop. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where today we'll take a closer look at an Airbus A320-200 of Eurowings. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we then find the Eurowings branding. The back side of the box unfortunately has another cutout, which of course makes the box look very cheap. It does not protect my aircraft model, and there's always the risk of the box actually just falling apart. But Herpa clearly doesn't care. And here she is, the Airbus A320-200 of Eurowings in a special livery dedicated to the workers of the airline. And this type of special livery, thanking the employees, has of course been quite popular with airlines in and around the pandemic. And of course for an airline it makes sense because it's much cheaper to make a special livery rather than giving your employees a job security and decent wages. But enough about politics, let's focus on the actual aircraft model in front of us to see if it is actually any good. And we start out to around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer find the Eurowings color scheme. On the fuselage we then find the flag of the European Union, the German flag, the full registration code of the aircraft, the writing of Eurowings with a little heart, and on top of the fuselage we then also have the addition of a sat dome, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we do also have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then have the main message of the aircraft, on one side in German, where it says "Was mich antreibt, das beste Team der Welt," and on the other side then in English, "Fueled by the world's greatest team." We do of course also have a few static ports, and underneath the cockpit windows the Eurowings branding. The cockpit section itself then consists of the cockpit windows with the window wipers. And surprising for Herpa, a nose shape that actually comes close to that of a real A320. The engine nacelles have been kept in all white. Here we find the silver leading edge has been printed on alongside some safety relevant markings. The physical detailing of the engines overall is quite alright, especially here from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. Then on the fuselage, just above the wings, we have the emergency exits printed on, which leads us straight to the wings, which we should also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we have the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely, and we do also have the markings for the emergency exits printed on. Also, the underside of the wings offers us some more nice physical detailing, and the A320 in this case also has winglets. Here, however, you always need to check those out because Herpa is unfortunately very inconsistent with how they are bending those. Sometimes they're over, sometimes underbent. In this case, I think Herpa has done quite alright, also when it comes to the print details on the winglets. The landing gear is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses with all their Airbus A320 family aircraft models, and that is the same old story. It is a good thing for the main landing gear that looks nice, and a not so good thing for the front landing gear, which is totally oversized and of course is missing printed details. On the belly we then however do find a printed detail, and that is the Eurowings branding, which then willfully has been destroyed by Herpa Wings with a hole in the fuselage for a stand which is not included with this aircraft model, making it totally pointless. And then last but not least we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft and here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Airbus A320-200 in the special Eurowings livery, thanking their employees in scale 1 to 500 by Herpa Wings. And what can we say about this aircraft model? I mean, if we put the messaging of the livery aside and just focus on the aircraft model, I must say it is actually a pretty good one. I mean, just the fact that the nose shape of this aircraft model resembles that, or at least comes close to that, of an A320 in real life is quite surprising because Herpa seemed incapable of doing so. Also, the winglets on this aircraft model have been pulled off very nicely, although my recommendation remains that if you want to buy an A320 with winglets, you should always check out the model before you buy it, because Herpa is just very inconsistent with them. Also, when we look at the print quality, Herpa has done a great job. The details they've added, they have done so very nicely. The addition of the static ports and the markings on the engines also really increases the overall experience of the model. So if Herpa had pulled themselves together and had added a decently sized front ending gear, we would have had a really solid scale 500 model. But I guess in the world of Herpa, this is as close as we can get to that, and therefore I would say it is worth having in one's collection. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then why not leave a like? That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.